Hello, welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things vintage and crafty. About 2 years ago, I made a video where I had slightly longer bobbed hair, where I showed how I usually would do my vintage styling using pin curls. And recently the video kind of blew up, and I found it really interesting that mostly it was because people are saying things like, I don't usually see hair videos with my haircut or my type of hair. So now that my hair is shorter, of course, and ironically, my hair has mostly been in a pixie for most of my adult life, at least. It just happened that during the pandemic, I let it grow and I started experimenting with vintage styles, and I really enjoyed it. But now I'm back to my old self with the short, very short pixie hair. It's actually a little grown out a little right now, which is why I thought it would be interesting to try to do some vintage styling with this length of hair. I know that when you have a pixie, it does need a lot of maintenance and cutting and keeping it short. And of course, there were a lot of short hair styles back in the, especially in the 50s and 60s. It all started, of course, in the 20s with the very short bobs, and there's been historically a lot of really short hair styles for women, and I just really enjoyed having short hair in general. So anyway, the point of this video is to try a similar vibe where I will try a vintage style. This case though, I've never actually tried it with this hair that I have right now. It's been a while since I curled my hair, but I think I can do it, and I'm not sure what the results are gonna be, but you'll go on this journey with me. Hopefully we end up with something fun and you enjoy it too. So this is what I'm gonna start with. My hair is almost completely dry and clean. I haven't put anything on it. I just brushed it quickly when I got out of the shower, and as you can see, it is pretty short, but a little longish, long enough that I can actually hold a curl. I think if it's shorter than this, it would be hard to do any kind of curling. In fact, it might even be too short, which is why I'm not sure this is gonna work. I might have to try it again in a few weeks. But before I cut it, I wanted to give it a go. And when I'm gonna be basing this style off is the 1950s, especially styles. There were some interesting styles going on, especially there's this huge style called the Italian cut in, I think, the 1950s, early 1950s, where a lot of especially Italian actresses and models were getting this super short haircut, kind of messy type of curled pixie, which is very cool looking, very Elizabeth Taylor. It was very popular, especially with brunettes, which I found interesting because of course I have black hair. Not that you have to be a brunette to try this style, but it's just like a little bit of history behind it. I did find some very rough diagrams of how they would curl their hair, so I'm gonna try to follow that, and I will be using pin curls again, just because I think with very short hair it is easier to use pin curls than to use rollers or other kind of curling ways of doing it. So anyway, that's the inspiration and that's what I'm going for. Let's see how it goes, and yeah, come along with me to try this out. Before I start, I do want to show some of the things that I'm using. I'm always very minimalistic in the products that I use, and I'm not really trying to sell them. I'm just trying to show you exactly what I'm doing. So of course, you're gonna need some sort of comb with rat tail, just because it'll be easier to divide your hair. I also used a soft brush later for brushing. This is literally the same one I have in my last video, I think. The product that I will use is the Lotta Body setting lotion. It doesn't have to be this. I do recommend you use some kind of setting lotion. In my last video, people asked a lot if they had to use it. You don't have to, you can just use water, but your curls are not gonna stay not even quite as long as if you do the setting lotion. The nice thing about these is that you mix it with water, so you decide how much you want to put in your hair. So if you don't want like super strong setting, or I don't know, like a lot of product in your hair, you can use just a little bit, but it will give your curls that extra hold that without them, some types of hair, especially like mine, it's like very thin and straight, won't curl or won't stay as long if you don't use it. So definitely try something like this. There are other types of setting lotions out there. I just really like this one because it doesn't make your hair sticky or anything, or like hard. It's very good. It's very easy to use. So we'll be using that. I'm also using water. You can put water in a spray can, or and then put this setting lotion in it. Or I'm just literally gonna use this little cup of water and mix it with the setting lotion and then grab water from it. Whatever works for you. I'm gonna use some curl pins, which again they're like this flat pins. You don't have to use this. You can also use regular hairpins. I will use both. But the nice thing about these, as I've said before, is that they don't leave a crease on your curls. They just are a little bit easier for larger curls. But I will still use regular hairpins for some of my curls, especially for like smaller pieces of hair. And that's it. Other than that, I make my sure that I have a small mirror and a towel for cleaning up. But that's pretty much everything I'm gonna use, and I'll walk you through it. Hopefully it works out. Let's see how it goes. Okay, new angle so you can see my hair clearly. I'm gonna start by dividing the hair. And depending on how your pixie is cut, but usually there's like some sort of middle created naturally. But I'm gonna try to make this whole middle area of my hair kind of divided from the rest of the hair. I'm gonna use some of these clips just to hold my hair, but I will separate this front area, sort of like a rectangle. So to keep the back of the hair separate, and then as you can see, I'm trying to create like this rectangle of hair. So I'm gonna use these pins just to separate my hair. And so I'm gonna be working with kind of this sort of front part of the hair, bangs. So I will use my water and add some of the setting lotion. You want to do like 1 part setting lotion and 3 parts water, something like that. Um, Not a lot of it. Just putting in my cup or spray can, and I'm gonna wet the area I'm gonna work with. Not soaking wet, just enough that there's setting lotion in there. And then I'm gonna divide this even more so I can work with the very front of the hair. Okay. So I really just wanna have not too much hair in my curls. So I'm gonna separate this. Another one of these just to keep it from my face. And I'm gonna start curling using this hair in the front. As you can see, like the more I divide it, the more you can see I don't have a lot of hair. So I think ideally you would want to create 3 bent curls here, but I just don't have enough hair. So I'm only gonna do 2. And I'm gonna divide it in the middle like that. Just roughly in the middle. Okay. Yeah, I think 3 would be perfect. I don't think I can do 3. I don't think there's enough. So I'm gonna just take this little hair here, and I'm gonna make my curl. So as I've explained in my other video, to do a curl, you want to pull your hair towards the opposite direction of where you're curling. So I'm gonna be curling inwards this way, and so to do that, I'm gonna pull my hair the opposite direction, pull it the opposite direction. Because it's so short, I'm able to start just where the like hairs are stopped kind of poking out, and making sure all of it is there. I'm just gonna make a little curl around my finger, and then just roll it down towards my scalp. I'll do it again so you can see it. I'll grab a pin. It can be a hairpin or a flat pin, and then I'll just make sure it stays in there. I'm gonna just do flat curls for this hairstyle, see if that works better. So I'll do the same with the other piece of hair. Make sure it's all completely wet. And same thing, I'm gonna pull it towards the other side, and then I'll wrap it around. This one's a little longer. I'll wrap it around my finger, and then I'll start curling. There's always like a little hair, especially with such short hair. There's always like little hairs poking out, but that's fine. And then once it's down against my scalp, I will put a thing. So they're not perfect, but they are curled, which is what matters. And that's the same thing I'm gonna do with this middle part of the hair. So I'll let this hair come out. There's a little more hair here. Now I'll do the same thing. I'll divide it in half. There we go. Put this one to the side. Put a little more of the setting lotion. And this part seems a little longer and fuller, so I think it'll be easier to see how I'm curling it. So once again, I'm gonna pull it towards the opposite side where it's gonna be curled. I'm gonna wrap it around my finger towards the end of the hair. Again, not all the way down because there are different size hairs there, and they're not gonna stay if I do it all the way to the end. It takes a couple times. There we go. And then we just make that little curl. Doesn't have to be perfect, and we curl it all the way down. This time I'm gonna use a flat pin. Same thing, but just a little easier to hold it there. And you see now I have 1, 2, 3, and I'm gonna try to add one more here. That hair diagram that I saw had 3, and I really wish I could make 3, but I think my hair just doesn't have enough hair. It's the same thing. Pull to the side, wrap around my finger, and pull it down, and it holds. Looking great. I think there's enough hair to do probably one more row here of front hair, and then we're gonna go to the sides. So let's do that. I'm gonna try to divide the hair. It gets kind of hard as you get to the back, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfectly divided, I don't think. All right, so same thing. I'm gonna try to get some of the setting lotion and water on this piece of hair over here at the top. My hair's only like maybe 3 inches long, so these curls, better to do them as tight as you can and to keep them as close to the hair as possible so they actually curl. There we go. So that's that, and then let's do one more over here. All right, I'm sure that looks great on the screen. Let's do the sides now. For the sides, I think I'm just gonna continue doing the hair rules. They are shorter, so it's gonna be a little harder. So I think I'll divide it again in 2. So the front, the side, the part that's close to my face, and then the part that's towards the back, and I'll do the same on the other side. And one of the reasons I'm doing my hair on them in the middle like this is to kind of leave some of the longer sides, some of the longer hair to the side, so I can actually curl something. So yeah, let's try to work with this. And this will depend on how long your pixie is. Mine is a little long, but not super long, as you can see. I'm just gonna leave the baby hairs alone. I'm not even gonna touch them. All right, so now that we divided the size in two. I'm gonna divide them in two again to create like a pull some hair. It's very short, so these curls I'm gonna make inwards towards the face, so they're like a different direction. And because the hair is so short, you'll see that sometimes it's kind of easier to just start at the bottom and then finish the curl. That's what I'm doing. There we go. Not terrible. I'll do the same at the bottom here. This one's, I think, might be even shorter, so it's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna try my best. Let's see. So I might keep the. I do grow a lot of hair, over my, I don't know, what do you call it, like sideburn. I'm gonna leave that separate because if you don't have that, don't worry about it. But if you do like me, it's best to just do that separately because it's so short. So again, this curl, I'm gonna start kind of close to my head and then finish it as best as I can, and then I'll put the hairpin in there. It's barely a curl, but I think it worked. And I'm gonna try something with the sideburns here, and I'm gonna try to kind of curl it into my face. I just used the setting lotion with water and then kind of created a little curl. I don't even know what it's gonna say, but it looks nice, so I'm gonna keep it. Let's do the same thing for the section in the back. So I'll divide this here as best as I can and do the same thing. Divide it in half for the top part. It's a little messy, like I said. It's not like a perfect curl, but sometimes when it's this short, I don't think it matters. So again, I'm starting the curl at the bottom just because it's so short instead of at the top. It's a little harder, but it works. Ooh, the little stray ones over there, but I think that'll do. Then I'm gonna try to curl this part too. We're getting to really short hair, so it's very likely that it'll barely be curled, but let's try. So as you can see, I'm starting from the bottom, from closer to the hair, to the head, just because it might be easier. So basically just create the curl against my head and then just kind of keep it there. All right, so I did the same thing on the other side where I have the two at the front, two on the back, two on the bottom, two on the top, two on the bottom, and the little curl of the hair over here. So now I have a row in the middle and 2 rows on each side. So all that's left is the hair in the back, which gets a lot harder, and we're obviously not gonna be able to get to the actual bottom of the hair. I'm just gonna leave as is. If you have longer hair, you could probably try and curl it. As it is, it's kind of hard to see the back of your hair, obviously. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of try to divide the hair in half, and then I'm just gonna go around and try to, without grabbing too much hair because then it won't curl. I'm just gonna kind of go around and keep curling for as long as I can keep doing it, basically, with the length of my hair, just because these are long enough that I think I can make it work. But I can't really divide it as well as I did the front because I can't see. So I'm just gonna grab pieces around the hair and do the same thing, just kind of curl them, all in the same direction, all of the one side in the same direction and then the other side in the opposite direction. It's a little hard, as you can see. So I'll start my little curl and then just go down all the way. There we go. And then keep it in there with a pin. Whew. Definitely getting some arm work here. Tip: sometimes you want to use 2 pins for one curl. Sometimes that's what it needs. Okay, a little messy, but we're getting there. So I'll do the same on the other side. And that's probably as much as I can get to my back. I'm gonna leave the rest as is. Won't sweat it. You know, it won't show up in the front photographs anyway. We can leave it as is. And then I'll come back and show you how that looks. All right, so this is what my hair looks like once I'm done. You can see all the rows of hair on each side towards the back. The very back of the head I just left too short. It was too short. I couldn't curl it. If you have a little longer hair, you might be able to add a couple more over there. And we're just gonna leave it as is. I know it's a little messy, but I'm gonna try to trust the process and let it curl. You can, if at this point, you can add some hairspray if you want extra hold, or you can also grab a scarf and wrap it around your hair if you prefer to keep your curl. If you're gonna go to bed with this and you want to keep your curls in place, I'm doing this during the day. I'm just gonna leave it so that it dries. Air dries. I'll leave it for like a few hours. I do recommend you leave it for at least 4 to 5 hours. It depends on how much hair you have. If you have more hair, you need more time for it to dry. Just think about when you shower, and if you have longer hair and you leave your hair in a ponytail and then hours later you take it off and it's still wet. It's kind of like that. We're gonna want to keep that shape and completely dry, so make sure that you leave it long enough. Either go to bed with it or just leave it 4 to 5 hours. And then we're gonna take it off, and once it's completely dry, and see how it looks, and I'll show you, fingers crossed, if it looks good. We are back, and it's been quite a few hours. I think my hair is dry now. The light even changed, getting darker, so I'm gonna try to see how it look, and let's see how my curls are looking. So I'm gonna start by taking off all of these pins one by one. Gotta make sure that no pins are left. So just pull them out, and that's a good sign that the curls are staying right where they are, even without the pins. That means that they're nice and dry, and when you touch them, you can tell that they feel dry. So that's good. If you start taking them out and you feel like they might still be a little wet or a little bit humid, you might want to put it back and wait a little longer. Just gotta make sure that it's dry and that the curl is holding. So I'm just gonna go all through my hair. I think I got them all. Yep, I think they're all gone. Gotta make sure that nothing's left in there. So now we are going to just run my fingers through the hair. This is always the funny part. I'm gonna look like a poodle. Please just trust the process. But yes, just run all your fingers through your hair to undo the curl. To let the curl kind of break. My hair's gonna look really frizzy and curly. Oh, don't worry, we're not gonna leave it like this. This is what I call the poodle hair, and it's very funny, and if that's what you're going for, you got it. This is where the brush comes handy. And this is very important in all this vintage, styling, that you want to brush with soft bristles that is gonna allow you to run through the curls and make them softer. And sometimes people are like, no, my hair still looks like a poodle, it's not working. It's like, you just gotta keep brushing for quite a while. So we're gonna start brushing the hair and see how it looks later. As you start brushing, you see that the curls become a lot less tight. So I can feel that. So as I brush it, I'm gonna try to find the style that I want. I'm gonna try dividing the hair kind of on the side here and just brush it towards that side. See how it looks. Okay, so after quite a bit of brushing, I started running my fingers again through the hair just to kind of position it wherever I wanted it to, the curls to go, and just kind of style it. At this point, I guess I could put on some wax cream that sometimes is used also so that the hair doesn't look as frizzy. But I'm gonna leave it for now, and this is the result. I I'm not sure if I'm quite getting the messy vibes yet. Maybe it needs even more brushing or more playing with the hair, but I don't hate it. I feel like this would look really cute if I was wearing, you know, like a summery outfit. It's winter right now, but if I was wearing like a pin-up type of summery outfit, the glasses definitely help. If we style it, it would look very vintage. I don't know if it's making me look 20 or 30 years older than I am, or if it actually looks nice. I don't know. I think I don't hate it. It's interesting. It's somehow harder the shorter my hair is, not just to make the curls, but also to style it, I guess, to find like the right place to style it. But my hair automatically, because of the way I curl it, kind of wanted to go in this direction. I do like the little curls kind of like framing my face. I don't like as much how big the top of the hair is, but all in all, I don't hate it. It's kind of cute, different. Yeah, I think I like it. What do you guys think? Would you try this hairstyle, or would you rather, you prefer the longer hair? I might let my hair grow a little bit, or I might cut it back. But for now, this is my attempt of the vintage Italian cut from 1950s. I think, yeah, I would call this a success. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next one. I hope to make more vintage styling stuff. Maybe once my hair grows a little more, I'll make some 1920s style. And yeah, thanks for watching.